Hi there guys, welcome back to the Rogues Guild. Last weekend we just had the set release for Strangers of New Valhalla. I got my 3 boxes in the mail. I opened them up on stream. Big shout out to content creators that do box openings on their channel pretty regularly, because that was difficult. At the end of the day, the consistency on these boxes is crazy, so like when you get into the second and the third box, it's like you already know everything that you're gonna pull. You know, the only real secret is like, am I gonna get a secret rare or am I gonna get a god art? So like it was pretty interesting trying to entertain for those. So yeah, shout out to you guys. But I've got another spreadsheet up, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Alright guys, so what you see here is you see the Strangers of New Valhalla box breakdown. The box breakdown is the exact same that we saw in the New Dawn Rises. So we're dealing with 4 full art super rares in a box, 8 full art rares, 8 full art uncommons, and 16 full art commons, okay? The only difference that we have is in this set we are 10 cards short than we were as compared to New Dawn Rises. This is because the stones, the 5 uncommon stones and the 5 rare stones, those were outside of the 100 card set, right? So the whole New Dawn Rises was 110. So with that in consideration, what happens is we have 5 less rares to contend with, and we have 5 less uncommons to contend with, which means that every copy of rare is now bumped quite a bit. So with that, full art super rares, full art rares, and full art commons are now all equally printed when it comes to unique cards. But with this distribution in mind, the full art uncommons are still significantly lower. This means that your full art uncommons are the most rare cards that you can pull out of this set. We're going to kind of talk about what that means going forward, but I just need you guys to be aware of that. Now, comparatively, between Strangers of New Valhalla and New Dawn Rises, we have more full art rares and more full art uncommons in circulation, assuming that the same number of boxes were printed for both sets, right? So comparing the two, there are less full art super rares of your New Dawn Rises and your than there is of the Strangers of New Valhalla. So what does this mean for you guys? Basically, when you're rushing to the back of the pack and you're trying to figure out whether or not you got money or not, I'm going to tell you, for the super rares, the card that you're looking for the most is your Guinevere. Your Guinevere is a guaranteed 4-drop, 1 cost in any machine deck, right? When you get into 4 copies of a card in a deck, that's when you start getting your money, right? Because demand is higher. So Guinevere is the best. Second to those, you're going to have Mistletoe and you're going to have Athena. Okay, I kind of view them the same right now, even though Mistletoe will end up bringing in more money right now, only because like there's a lot of hype on Brunhild. But I think when the meta settles out, I believe Athena and Mistletoe will kind of be in the same. They're both powerhouse 5-drops that you can probably end up splashing 2 or 3, plus their waifus. So like that's a thing. Rare slot. Your most expensive rares are going to be your Blade of Faith and your Table Flip. Okay, same concept. Those are 4 ofs in their respective decks. So outside of that, you've got Soul Prison, which is probably going to be a 2 or a 3 of in the Lucifer decks. So slightly less than Blade or Table Flip, but still should probably be an expensive card. And then off of those, you have Sand Awakening and Skynet. Those are the only other 2 that I kind of see maintaining value, even though what's going to happen is those are going to be like 1-ofs in the rune decks. So they're going to be played and they're going to be sought after, but they're just not the 4-ofs. So it's not something that you really got to worry about so much. Now, in the uncommon slot, okay, your most rare cards. The way that I see it, March Hare and the 6 Jinzo statues. Those are your big full art uncommon targets. I believe that the 6 Jinzo statue is such an early game threat that it will be in a lot of decks. It'll find its way. If you watched our stream, it found its way into our Hanzo machines. March Hare, we're doing a lot of stuff with runes now. getting it up to a 9/9 lifelink is pretty easy for a 2-drop, so I expect that to be good. Plus the art, you know, there's a lot of fan respect for that one. So I see those two being the powerhouse. Second to those, you have Power Diversity, or you have Diverse Evolution, and you have Power the Immortal. Both of these cards are going to be good and sought after, but again, we're talking about one of rune spots, so they will maintain value. They will not be as high as the Jizos and the March Hares. And then last, we got a little sleeper uncommon in there, and that's in Runes Beneath the Sand. Runes Beneath the Sand is an awesome control red card, and right now that deck, that control red deck, just isn't there. So the demand's not going to be there right now, but if it ever does, that card is going to get ate up very quickly. Runes Beneath the Sand is a sleeper uncommon for this set. And then going into the commons, we only got 3 of them, but they're pretty powerful. Messenger of the Sun. Messenger of the Sun is a 4 of. It is your awesome white draw engine. Like, you need it. It's wonderful. That is a good card. If you pull it, feel good. Parallel World Schrodinger is another one. The fact that you can run as many of these in the deck as possible really will keep the value high, because even if there's, like, I don't know, a third of the people that actually care about this card, they have to have 40 of them, if not 60, you know, in their decks. So, like, this might actually maintain value pretty good. And then March of the Dead. March of the Dead is the other common that you, if you pull a full art of it, feel pretty good. I feel that is a very powerful reanimator card. It acts as 1 for a 1-drop or 2 for a 3-drop. Feels very good. So yeah, if you pull any of those, feel pretty good. Again, if you're watching this, you should be aware by now that the rarity really just doesn't matter. So one of the other things that I want to talk about, one of the last things I want to talk about in this video, is when we were opening up these boxes, we were dealing with a very consistent boxes. So when you opened it up, you got one of each of the super rares, not in the full art, right? You got one of each of the rares plus 6 duplicates, or so, like, of the 26 rares that you got one of each of all 20 unique ones, with a chance of 6 of them being duplicated, right? The uncommons, you got 2 of each plus X amount duplicated into 3. Commons, you got an even amount of each, right? So the distribution on these boxes really fit that assumption that we deal with, that there is not one card printed more than another. So what this kind of got me thinking about is that we can go forward and we can have a baseline of, like, what we can guarantee to pull out of a box, to whether or not we want to crack it and go for some money on the full arts, right? So what I have here is I have New Dawn Rises. So New Dawn Rises is currently at $75 a box. Now, I pulled these numbers this morning. These are the 10 most expensive cards based on the median price listed, okay? So of these 10 cards, if you sold, this is what you pull in a box. You pull one of each of those and 2 of the Vivians because it's an uncommon. If you sold them all, you would get $48.67 at TCG Min right now. Based on shipping, online, all that stuff, I always go 75%. So your take home is going to be about $36.50. So what does that mean? That means that if all of these sell right now, if you pooled all of these in a box, now I say if because there are no certainties in the world, but we are talking, in my opinion, 99-98% accuracy on this kind of stuff. So if you were able to sell all of these at these prices, you would be at $36.50. So that is basically halving the box price, okay? And that's not even where the money is at, okay? These are just guarantees, or guarantee, I use that term loosely. These are very, 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 very high probabilities that you can cut that box price in half in order to decrease the amount of risk on what kind of full arts you're going to pull. Because imagine if you pull any of the full arts for these, like, that's good money. So, like, going forward, when you're evaluating these box prices, go ahead and see if you can get away with some stuff. I know that Ancient Knights, a buddy of mine that was following the channel, had reached out on Reddit and mentioned that Ancient Knights was selling for like $54 a box or something like that. And so I just did a quick search, and there was enough full arts in there that like you could easily get your money back on that plus some, right? So like it made me think, like, with the amount of consistency that we're going into, I think you could probably get away with making risk assessments like this of, you know, what kind of base rarity stuff am I going to get, take that off the overhead cost of the box, and then make money on all the full arts. So keep an eye on this stuff going forward. With this consistency, you can kind of really know what you're getting out of a box. Experiment it with you want. Again, I make no guarantees. I just do math. I think this is interesting. I'm probably going to play with this. I'll probably buy a couple boxes and track it and see what I can do, and I'll let you guys know. But until next time, I appreciate you guys very much. If you like what I do, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. Let me know what you want to see next time. We're going into, I think, Alex Cluster, or not Alex Cluster, but we're going to go into the Rhea Cluster for the next video. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to talk about. Alright, guys, thanks a lot for stopping by.